Great morning, everyone, and welcome to the Influence Sessions for the franchise industry. We've got a great panel lineup today, and there's quite a few of you watching already, so welcome. If you are watching via our live web page, which is meetthefranchisor.com, please just type in the Q&A box below your name and say hi. We'd love to give you a shout out a little bit later on. Now, I'd like to introduce the panel today, but first of all, let's talk about the topic. We're looking at the best practice for franchise support systems. Now, this is a really important model to get right for your franchise group, and I believe we've created a really interesting panel to help support you in that today. So with no further ado, let's get going. So myself, my name's Emma Monroe. I am the CEO of Yossum. We deliver support systems for franchise groups, which includes training and company-wide meetings, all via this platform of Google Hangouts. We also own meetthefranchisor.com, which is a new platform which gives you a free directory listing and a free interview on this very platform. Now we've got Nikki Ellison. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Emma. Hello, everyone.
Hi. And Nikki's based in Omaha, Nebraska, in the States. Nikki, would you mind telling us a little bit about what you do and who you are?
I'm the co-founder for the Franchise Success Institute. We are a coaching firm that has created a certified executive and leadership coach in the franchise world certification. And the goal of it is to share leadership strategies for franchises to help you grow and prosper.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on your Memorial Day holiday of all things, so thank you.
Thank you.
Now we've got Len Ferguson from Fin Franchise Brokers based in Brisbane. Good morning, Len.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Len, would you mind telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
We're actually, well, I'm the co-founder of Fin Franchise Brokers and Fin Business Sales in Australia. We're the largest business sales agents in Australia. We've got over 30 offices around the country. And all of our offices are franchise offices. So all of our guys are franchisees that run their businesses around Australia.
Excellent. So, Len, I believe you'll have a very interesting viewpoint as both a franchisor and a franchise broker dealing with lots of other models as well.
Yep, correct, we do. So we definitely have a very different insight.
Excellent. Looking forward to hearing your views today. Now we've got Kelly Grace from Volano Solutions, who is also based in Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome to the panel, Kelly.
Thanks, Emma. I appreciate you orchestrating this call.
Excellent. Excellent. Would you mind telling us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Kelly Grace. I work for a small software company based in Omaha called Volano Solutions. We created a mobile app last year called Action Card, which we're selling into brands globally, which is essentially a mobile audit tool that field managers use when inspecting their franchisees for best practices and standards compliance. And so that's gotten me into more of a consultative role as I work with franchisors in writing standards and helping marry their operations manuals with their field standards and helping drive consistency at all of their locations. And so we're a technology/consultant, and we're working with some pretty nice brands right now, but we're fairly young. We just launched the tool last year.
Fantastic. And I met Kelly in New Orleans earlier this year, so it was good to meet Kelly there at the International Franchise Association conference, and had a good look at his product, and it's very, very nice. I'd suggest checking it out. Now I'd like to introduce John Sweet Kelly, from the principal of Crowe Horwath in Brisbane, who has a beautiful software to share with us and his insights on best practice for franchise support systems. Welcome, John.
Hi, Emma. Thanks a lot for the introduction. Hi, guys. Welcome to today's presentation. Emma, it's great to join you and everyone else who's on the conference call. Guys, we specialise in developing software solutions for franchises so they can evaluate their performance. So creating a visual scorecard which represents both the financial and non-financial metrics. There are two products, Open Measures, which www.openmeasures.com, which allows you to compare your performance against other franchisees if you're within a group, and this is used extensively across the retail, legal, financial planning, fast food outlets, for example, real estate, for example. And then there's another product called Analysis One, so www.analysis-one.com, which allows you to measure your own performance and benchmark it again internally. So you can create your own financial scorecard and your non-financial scorecard from a blank canvas, and measure those metrics which are critical to your success moving forward. Thanks, Emma.
In your experience, what is the franchise support best practice look like?
I can probably comment on what we did. We sort of, when we approached this business and designed the model that we wanted, we sort of broke down all our skills, the skill sets that we wanted our franchisees to portray in their day-to-day activities. And so we sort of broke them down. It was quite an elaborate task to do that, and we work on competencies. So we work with our franchisees and coach them on their competencies based on the skill sets that are actually that are put down in front of them. And that seems to help us work with them to help them manage their business better, because they sort of, once they get to understand what the core competencies that they need to achieve are, what the skill sets they need to achieve are, and how that affects their profit, a lot of the times they actually self-manage those, and they come to us looking for help. So I think that one of the key things I've seen with a few other franchise networks is that they don't really define exactly what they want that business owner to do. So, and I found that's worked amazingly well for us by defining exactly what the key skills are, what they need to achieve, virtually within their business day to day, and then how they're actually going on each of those competencies that they need to achieve, and how that affects their profit, has helped us immensely to get better results from our franchisees. We also get them together 4 times a year, which is it's an easy feat for us because we're not a large franchise system. So we get face-to-face 3 times a year for a 2-day conference, and we call it a sales conference. And at those conferences, we actually we do a lot of KPI sessions where we measure results. So basically, the guys that are doing really well, they get the pat on the back from their peers because they can see their results up in lights on the screen up in front of the room. The guys that are sort of still emerging in their business, they can get coached by their colleagues. So they actually seek out their colleagues that are doing really well and ask them questions about how they're doing really well. And generally, it all comes back to those core skills and competencies that I talked about at the start. They sort of go back to those, and what we find in the end is that their colleagues are starting to coach them, not only us. So they get sick of our voice at the front of the room all the time, but their colleagues start coaching them. So their fellow franchisees, I mean by that, they start coaching them and working with them and helping them achieve better goals. I see that as the key to your network really growing close and working together for everyone's benefit.
Len, we've just had a question come in from Sarah in Perth. Hi, Sarah. And it was, how do you get the franchisees to come to you? Is that part of your culture that you've established from the very beginning?
Yep. We have right at the very beginning, I suppose. What we actually talked about is at the start of every one of our meetings, we actually put up what our core, I suppose, values are and what we're here for. So, and I think we try to remind everybody what we're doing it for. So when we stand up in front of the room, we go, okay, guys, we're having these meetings, and what we're here for is franchisee profitability. So that's the first thing we announce with every single meeting that we do. So, and I said every decision that we make, everything that we actually work on is all about improving franchisee profitability. And I suppose when we do that, they get the sense that we're working with them to help them achieve the results that they're looking for within their business. And there's sometimes with franchise, once we do that, they become more engaged. I think they become more engaged in the process, and the key to that engagement is they think that you're doing the right thing by them as well, and hopefully that's what you're doing as a franchisor. But because in the end, if they do really well, the franchisor doesn't have to worry about their own bottom lines and profitability. It actually comes with them doing really well. So that's the way we do it. Is we really drive that engagement, that team environment. We really push that team environment within our group.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that insight into, the back end of an actual franchise group. So that's been fascinating. Does anyone else have any comments on what Len's just discussed?
Emma, I think it was great in what Len mentioned there around the culture of the KPIs and the self-supporting networks that develop where people, once they've got information flowing through, and able to support each other. Very strongly support that transition of culture and support that starts to develop once people start getting feedback.